Crazy Rich Asians, because I really enjoyed it.
Oh.
And I've rewatched it, and I really like it. Maybe The Parent Trap.
I never think of that as a romantic comedy because the romance is the B story.
Yeah, but...
Oh, no, that's not true. That was my complaint about it, is the kids are better than the romance.
Yeah, but it is a romantic comedy.
That's true.
So, yeah, I think those are probably my two favorite currently. What about you?
I think 2 of my, 5 favorite movies of all time are romantic comedies.
Oh.
Which doesn't seem like me. My favorite movie ever is a romantic comedy, Chungking Express.
Oh.
And Roman Holiday.
Roman Holiday.
That's in my top 5, and
that's a great romantic comedy. Yeah, okay.
For more modern, I guess it's not that modern, Pretty Woman.
Yeah.
We've done it on here. I love Pretty Woman. It is also in the top most rewatchable movies. After you finish it, you just want to watch it again.
Yeah.
Let's go watch Pretty Woman. Oh, no, wait. Let's talk about... What is this? Sleepless.
You've got mail.
You've got mail.
Sleepless male volcano.
Welcome, everyone, to a very special episode of You've Got This and You Should Too. You've got mail and I do too. I love this. You should too.
There you go.
My name is Indy. You've got mail. Randhawa.
Whoa.
And with me is my lovely co-host, everyone, it's Samantha, Parent Trap Randhawa.
That's me. Hello.
I like that you throw up your hands triumphantly every time I introduce you, despite this being an audio medium.
Yeah, okay. Well, I hope everyone can feel my excitement.
I think they can. I think
Good.
it comes through.
Okay, that means I'm doing good work.
So months ago now, we started this trilogy with Sleepless in Seattle. You can go back to episode 309 if you haven't listened to that and see what we said about it. But now we are jumping into the second part, and that's You've Got Mail, a Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan, Nora Ephron romantic comedy from 1998. Samantha, we were saying that both of these two are your picks because it's something that you hadn't seen but wanted to catch up with because you're a big romantic comedy fan. Mm-hmm. So upon this first watching, what'd you think?
I think I loved it. I can see the plot holes very, glaringly. And there's, a good amount of nonsense, but this one does what the last one didn't, and there's a lead up and it makes sense why they're into each other. And so I feel like this one delivered a little bit more on the romance part, where what was the other one we watched?
Sleepless in Seattle.
Sleepless in Seattle. Sorry, I'm getting all of them jumbled in my head now. The way that Sleepless in Seattle didn't make any sense because they'd never really interacted. Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks are classic.
Now you know that.
I believe that they are into each other. Yeah. What about you?
It's pretty great. Mm-hmm. I gotta say, again, with the vast majority of romantic comedies, you have to sustain your disbelief a little bit, but no more than any action or horror or superhero movie, just in different ways. This does a very good job of addressing pretty much every issue I had with Sleepless in Seattle.
Yes.
Keeping some of those conventions, how do you get them to only meet at the end but still believe they're in love? By having these kind of, not necessarily alter egos, but the email convention. When I thought about watching a movie from 1998 that revolves around email, I'm like, oh, that's going to be rough. It's going to be shoehorned in.
Feel old, yeah.
The email portion I thought would make no sense. It is a great tool in how you can have these people both fall in love in a believable way and still not meet until the end of the movie.
Yeah, I agree.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed watching it. I feel like with most romantic comedies, the more you dissect things, the worse the story is.
Yes.
But this one, all of those types of issues are very forgivable, and the charm and performance and romance of it makes up for it.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not going to be one of those top levels of, like I was talking about, Pretty Woman and Chungking Express and Roman Holiday, because those are classic films.
Yes.
And just great on so many levels. This is a very good romantic comedy.
Yes.
I really liked it.
This is a fun movie. It's not too heavy. You don't have to really get into thinking about it to figure it out. it's just like a nice, relaxing show to watch.
And it just works.
It does.
I feel like they learned a lot from Sleepless in Seattle, even though that one I think was probably more successful and more just kind of in the world. People know about that one a bit more. This is a better movie.
I agree.
At the end of it, when we watched it, I was like, oh shit, was that great? That was pretty good.
Yeah. I wasn't sure last night. We watched it yesterday, and I think, a little heat stroked in hindsight, and I wasn't quite as into it, but we rewatched a bunch of it today just to kind of get our brains together about it. And I am like, yeah, this is a wonderful movie.
So we know definitely better than Sleepless in Seattle.
Yes.
There's so many conventions in that I really liked, but it just wasn't executed nearly as well as this.
Yeah.
And I think one of the biggest compliments I could pay this movie is it's a 2-hour romantic comedy that I didn't feel really dragged.
Yeah, absolutely. This one was a little bit faster paced, but not too fast paced.
No, it's 2 hours, which is too long for a romantic comedy, but it wasn't.
But it didn't feel 2 hours.
This feels shorter than the
Yes.
hour 40 of Sleepless in Seattle.
This felt like it was like a quick 90 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, this Sleepless in
Seattle
Seattle
really lulled in the middle.
Yeah, it did. It really did. So yeah, this one does a very good job of keeping things moving and being charming enough that you don't notice how long the movie is.
I would say I could find 10 to 15 minutes to easily cut out of this, but it's fine.
Yeah.
So let's go through it. Do you want to just kind of go through the story and say what we loved about it?
Yeah, let's do it.
One thing to start off with, this is a remake of The Shop Around the Corner, a Jimmy Stewart movie.
Oh, okay.
But I recognize that because I know that movie. But I guess it's a remake of so many other things. And it was... I don't even know where this story originally comes from, but it's existed in many iterations over the years.
It says, the internet says that it's inspired by the 1937 Hungarian play Parfumery.
Oh, classic. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
We're all my perfumery heads out there. A lot of big fans of 1930s
Hungarian plays.
Yeah, theater.
Yes, and then the 1940 The Shop Around the Corner, and 1949 In the Good Old Summertime. So this is a well-used story, I guess.
Yeah, I only know The Shop Around the Corner, and it was apparent because Tom Hanks, I kind of think of as the 90s Jimmy Stewart. They have had very similar roles. They're real like all-American good guys. They are dads. Sometimes they're romantic leads. That's kind of their role. And of course, Meg Ryan's shop in this is called The Shop Around the Corner. So
I kind of love that.
yeah. So it starts out with these terrible graphics of the computer animated New York.
Yeah.
Which is how Sleepless in Seattle ended. Terrible graphics of computer animated New York. Remember that? And remember thinking like, this looks bad.
Yes.
This one looked bad as well.
It did. It did.
For the time, I guess.
I guess, yeah, because it's supposed to be like 1998 and the internet isn't super advanced yet.
But I was playing video games in 1998 and they looked a lot better than that.
Yeah, you'd expect like a big budget Hollywood film to have a little bit more finesse to its graphics.
Right off the bat, Meg Ryan is very charming because as soon as Greg Kinnear leaves the apartment, she runs around like a lovable scamp.
Yes, yeah.
She's just scamping around.
Scamping it up.
And we get introduced to everything real quick. Like we get Greg Kinnear hates technology, and we start with an email in the first like 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, they really get to it.
And another trope from a lot of 90s romantic comedies, we get to hear the Cranberries. And that song is also the Cantonese cover in Chungking Express.
Ah.
It also does a thing that a lot of New York movies, especially New York rom-coms, have to do of like, New York, it's kind of like the third main character here. They have to talk about New York a lot.
You have to be in love with New York as well.
And early on, they do that bit where they're both walking around the street and they almost bump into each other. I thought that worked very well.
What a classic rom-com trope.
And then how they kind of invert it later after they are enemies where they are hiding from each other all around the city.
Yes.
So you get to see something that you've seen before, but then a little inversion of it.
Yeah.
That worked well.
Yep, absolutely. And this is like a classic enemies to lovers kind of
Done
story.
well.
Very well.
And I think we'll go through it and talk about how it works here and why I 90% of the time hate it. Because I can't even remember which movie we did. It was a choice of yours where it had that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, but if you just know this guy from the movie and nobody's telling you he's the best, is he likable?
Mm-hmm.
And the answer is like, yeah, not really,
Not
but it's
really.
a movie. This does a good job of making them both likable. Like they start off with that kind of the uncle montage, even though that's his aunt and brother.
Yeah.
And they're showing you like this is a lovable guy.
Yeah, he's out, he's taking children out, he's having a great day with them. And like we know that he's like the brother and nephew, but he is playing the uncle role to them. And these kids are funny too.
Yeah.
This is like, it has really good kid characters, whereas in Sleepless in Seattle,
You didn't like that kid?
he was good. He just like didn't
It's kind of weird.
do much for me.
And his love interest, the kid's love interest in that was weird.
Yes. Oh yeah.
That girl, who I think she grows up to be someone.
Does she?
I don't know. Also with Meg Ryan's character, we get to see she's likable. She's
Yeah.
instantly likable. She's not a stalker
Right.
like in Seattle. But I do have to say one criticism. As a real expert in the field,
Yeah.
her story time, not great. Weird choice of book for that audience.
I was gonna say, I feel like they were reading a chapter book, and so like what?
That's what I'm saying.
They're gonna come every week to hear one chapter of a book?
Of Roald Dahl's pseudo autobiography? That's
Oh, that's weird. Yeah. Not a great choice.
no. Get some pictures. Get a picture book. Got to do some voices.
And those kids would not be that wrapped in attention for this book.
Although it was 98, nobody has an iPad yet. Like they just got their first computers. I heard that Meg Ryan in real life, this was the first time she ever used a computer.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that wild?
That's so funny. I was thinking about, like, while we were watching, about how they're typing and how we grew up in a time where computers were just coming into schools and we learned how to type in school, or at least I did.
So this is one of our biggest gaps. I was just after. So although I have like an English degree and ed degree and had to type so much, if you watch me type, it's not proper.
It's not proper.
I'm quick enough, but it's not right. I don't type properly. And I've thought about it when I was in my 20s. It's like, I should learn how to do this properly.
Yeah.
Never did.
No,
And here we are.
it's something that's difficult to like relearn. I did Mavis Beacon Teaches Typing
Sure.
in elementary school, like pretty much all the way through. So I did learn how to type with like all my fingers. And then when I went to school for administration, I then had to learn how to do it fast. So it kind of like re-updated my skills a little bit. But yes, it's funny to see them not used to a keyboard like that and like trying to type out a full message. It's interesting to see a time before everyone was really good at typing.
Are people now?
Maybe not.
Because I feel now
I feel
everyone
like-
types with their thumbs.
Yeah,
So
true.
I feel like a university student now probably types like I do. On a keyboard.
Probably. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. And I also think that I got really good at typing from being on MSN.
Oh, yeah.
I was so fast on typing there. So, yeah, but it was kind of charming to see people who weren't used to looking at a computer all day.
So, of course, she has this charming little bookstore. He is going to come and open up this big bookstore. Even that is so quaint
Yeah.
that the big capitalist regime that's coming in is like a Chapters, or to the Americans, is Indigo the equivalent?
Yeah. Barnes and Noble.
Barnes and Noble.
Barnes and
Kohl's?
Noble.
Was Kohl's?
Kohl's, Chapters, and Indigo are all one company now.
Right.
I don't know.
Well,
about back
everything is
then.
all, there's only 4 companies. in
Yeah,
the
but I
world,
think Barnes and Noble is like the big one in the States.
So I remember this era very well, the big giant bookstore, and he talks about it like it's a piazza where everyone comes together. It kind of was.
It kind of was. I remember going and working when I was in university at a Chapters Starbucks. Like, that was kind of what you did, and you hung out with your friends, and you had study group, and like, It was it was a thing to go and like browse and hang out.
It was like what libraries are, except there they would kick out homeless people, while at the libraries they don't, because you don't have to pay money to exist here.
Right.
So I remember in the city where we live, White Ave is a popular place to go out when you're a university student. When I would meet dates, we'd go out on White Ave often, right?
Right, yeah.
You're like 21 years old. We're going to go out on White. You're going to get dinner or a drink or whatever. We would always meet in the chapters and then go like walk down the Ave.
I wonder if we were ever there at the same time.
I'm at some point.
There's so much that we're like, I bet we were there at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever go on a date 2 chapters?
I think I may have met people at chapters.
Always, because everyone knows where it is.
And you know what it is? I think I had friends who would sit upstairs. So we're describing like a very specific place, but there was kind of like a balcony where the Starbucks was, overlooking the main front entrance. And then your friends could like watch from upstairs to make sure that you were all right.
So you don't get abducted.
Or if you immediately get like bad vibes, you can like send a signal and they'll come like get you.
Oh, I wonder if the women that I had met there had friends watching out.
Possibly, because you could look right out over. So you'd say like, oh, I'll meet you just inside the doors of chapters, because it's winter here like 6 months a year. So sometimes it was too cold to wait outside. And so you'd just like wait inside chapters and like browse or whatever the books at the front were. And your friends would watch and make sure that you were like all good. And then you'd leave, or you'd give the signal to be saved.
Yeah.
So that's how girls work. But yeah, that was like such an iconic spot.
We should just reminisce about bookstores the rest of our time.
Oh, man.
But what I was saying is, now that things like chapters and these big giant bookstores, they have been crushed.
Yes.
The idea of a physical bookstore doesn't seem evil anymore.
No.
Because they are the lesser of many, many evils. We're so far past that as far as evil capitalist institutions that this seemed kind of quaint. So when they are now enemies and we get those reveals, the initial conflict in this makes sense. Mm-hmm. In all of those romantic comedies, there's often a simple misunderstanding that could easily be clarified.
If they like spoke 10 words to each other.
Or it's just like, hey, you work for those people, so I hate you.
Yeah.
We get that here. But they do enough good character work that it's not Tom Hanks. I forget what his character's name is. Joe Fox.
Joe Fox.
Of course. It's not that Joe is this evil guy. It's you see how when presented with this uncomfortable situation, he gets defensive and is mean to her. Mm-hmm. And the genius of having that email setting in it is through those voiceovers and emails, we get insight into him, and we get to hear him say like, oh man, I acted like a real jerk to this person and I feel bad about it. And she's like, you know what? The same thing happens to me. Yeah. And they explain it. And it's so hard in a movie to explain that sort of thing without directly just saying it to camera. Mm-hmm. But because of the emails working as essentially their inner monologue, we get to see how these two assholes who are fighting each other can still fall in love.
Yeah, you get that love story, and it's believable. It's how things would work in the real world.
Using the emails to build character depth is, I think, one of the strongest points of this, because rom-coms in general don't have deep characters oftentimes. That was my criticism of Seattle. They don't even know who each other is.
Right, yeah.
And here they are able to share all of their feelings in like a non-date setting because they are talking anonymously. So it's such a good contrivance. It is something that they've made up for this movie for that reason, but it works very well.
It does. It totally does.
One thing I wish they would have hit on a little bit more is each of them is following their parents' legacy. Mm-hmm. And they each kind of stray from it. They don't really talk about it, but when you look at it, both of them are in the family business, right? Her mother was enchanting. Is that the word that was used?
Yes, enchanting.
It was enchanting, and she grew up in this bookstore, and now she wants to do it. And she even says, like, people might not remember me, but they'll remember my mother. And then you start thinking, like, does she really want this?
Right.
And when she goes off and she becomes a writer in the end, it shows that she can still respect her mother, but not have to do exactly what her mother did.
Yeah.
And I think that part of the script, they just kind of go through so quickly that we don't really get to dwell on it. But I thought that was very clever and putting some complexity into that character. And meanwhile, Joe is in the family business as well. And his father, though, is this serial womanizer. And although Joe's still in the family business, we see the breakaway from his father with how he is towards women.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like
seemed
that little bit.
The grandfather is also a little bit of a womanizer.
I think.
We don't get as much of the grandpa.
And we do have him talking about love in a more movie romance way. Because
Yeah.
he was in love with Meg Ryan's mom?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he does also have a 11-year-old.
Yes.
So I assume that he's got a younger wife.
You'd think.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to say about the many cardigans Meg Ryan wears?
So, yeah, mid 1990s was the time of the twin set, which is like a little cardigan tank top set. And I don't love the tone on tone.
The fact that they're both the
Outfit?
exact same color, I just kept saying, like, just wear one sweater.
Just wear a sweater and a top underneath. Like,
Or mix and match those sets.
yeah. See,
That's what she needs to be
That
doing.
never happened, but it should have, because she wears a lot of beige. And for someone
Yeah.
who's that blonde and that white,
It was the time.
ooh, she is like real beige in a lot of those scenes where it's just like hair, skin, tank top, pants. It's a rough color combination.
What was that romantic comedy you got me to watch? It was Jack Nicholson and Diane Keaton, and she sobs and sobs. Everyone just wore beige in that one.
Yes.
Something's Gotta Give?
Something's Gotta Give, yeah.
I remember this time because there's all sorts of shows like X-Files and Star Trek were on, but everyone would have a photo shoot in a magazine and all of the cast would just be wearing 28 different shades of between khaki and beige.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's weird that the sci-fi shoot is all khaki and beige, but that was the look.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some real 90s outfits in this, but I don't think that they age this movie very much.
No, I don't think so.
Like, I know we've watched movies from this time frame where they seem very old.
So this is how many years after Seattle? 5 years?
5.
It looks like a lot more, doesn't it?
This looks like it was maybe like 15 years
Seattle,
ago.
we were saying this was the first movie that was from my lifetime that I watched, and I was like, "Ooh, that looks old." And this one doesn't. So maybe it was something about that specifically.
Yeah, I think so. And because I think a lot of this fashion has come back recently. And I think that we're seeing it a little bit more around, like the beige, khaki, brown color tones are very in right now.
And I think the majority of things we're seeing in You've Got Mail, nothing was extreme.
No.
Because it's always like the big swings that you're like, oh, that was a time. And here we'll just be like, oh yeah, that color was of a time, but it's just a classic cardigan. You could wear that at any time.
Yes,
You put that on
absolutely.
today and people wouldn't think it's weird.
People are still wearing this fashion, whether or not it's like older people or younger people, but you're still seeing this out and around in the world.
And like Tom Hanks' shirt, it's a little big, but it's not as big as it was in Seattle.
Oh my God, you
Those
could have fit
shirts.
both of them in that shirt. That was a really billowy shirt.
Yeah.
Is he a sailboat?
He might have been. That's how he sails.
I think he wanted to take off. He's the sail for his boathouse.
Okay, before we
Sorry.
move on, I do want to ask your opinion on one other fashion point of this time. The zigzag part.
Ooh.
And by zigzag part, I mean her hair is parted in a zigzag rather than a straight line. And I remember having crushes on girls in high school who had that zigzag part going.
It was a time, and I'm sure there are photos at my mom's house of me with a zigzag part, but I don't like it.
I say bring it back.
Oh, I hate it.
Bring back the zigzag part.
It's not a good look.
That worked for me because I never really heard like those chunky streaks kind of, right?
Yeah.
It kind of you kind of had to have all of it.
True.
So I say, if you were rocking a zigzag part out there, take a picture, send it in. We'll post it somewhere.
Let's see it.
Yeah.
I want to see those zigzag parts and how you think they work.
Yeah, why is it that everyone defaults to straight line part? I want to see some curves, some zigzags.
I think it's because it's how you cut your hair.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Like-
that's the thing. You had to do all of it. And this was kind of, her hair looked like it was cut in chunks.
This
too, right?
was like super chunky layer time.
Yeah.
And so you could do that because your hair was like 75 different lengths.
Yeah. So that's why you need a zigzag part.
But now you like a more blunt cut. It's like less
Why?
layers.
Don't.
Longer
Layer it
layers.
up. Chunk it up. Put some tinfoil on and get yourself some chunky streaks and then zigzag your hair.
Okay, well, I was going to dye my hair today, so maybe I'll just throw some chunky streaks in there.
Let's do it. I'll help you out.
Oh, yikes.
I'll cut it.
No, thanks.
Every time I've cut your hair.
It's been
great.
fantastic. No, you're right.
I think we should do it.
You're right.
Did you ever have one of those special combs that's like a zigzag parting comb?
No, I just had a regular comb.
Yeah, makes sense. I just remember seeing the commercials for hair
there's
products
always
that you don't need.
A product for everything. Yeah.
Like Bump
yeah.
It?
Yeah. Oh, I had some Bump Its.
Oh yeah, back to this movie.
Now we're just talking about things we did in the 90s.
Remember in Sleepless in Seattle, she was listening to this weird Christmas song where she was just going, horse, 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 horse.
Yes.
In this, they have this weird Christmas song that they all sing around the piano when Greg Kinnear's just going, the horn,
And the clarinet. The
Is
clarinet.
that a song you've ever heard?
I have never heard that song. I don't know what that song is.
That's weird. It's very strange for me to hear a Christmas song that I don't know. And I'll watch Christmas movies from the 50s, and I know those, but this one, I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
While we're kind of off topic, I didn't realize Dave Chappelle is in this movie.
Oh, yeah. I realized that I don't really know who Dave Chappelle is because I was thinking of, we just saw him in something.
Give me a vague description.
Um,
Am I going to think you're racist based on who you think it was?
no, it's another like comedian. He's a comedian, right?
But the question remains. Because if your answer to that is yes, then I think I know who you're talking about.
Yes.
Chris Rock.
Yes, I was thinking of Chris Rock. Sorry, I was thinking of Chris Rock in my head, and then I was like, "Is this Dave Chappelle?"
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Because Dave Chappelle is a very big part of my movie going and, Chappelle Show. I own several physical discs of media that feature Dave Chappelle.
Oh,
We should watch some Chappelle Show. Some of it I think would scare you.
Oh.
But some of it you might think is funny. I don't know.
okay.
But Dave Chappelle's in this. Also, Miss Rhode Island.
Yes.
Okay,
oh
I'm
my
glad
god,
you know
I
who
love
that-
her. I think she's so funny.
She's good.
She's great.
I don't know her from anything else.
Just-
And if you're not familiar why I said that, the woman who works at the bookshop with Meg Ryan, the younger one, is also Miss Rhode Island in Miss Congeniality.
The actress's name is Heather Burns.
Heather Burns, there's just something about her delivery that
She's
I really enjoy.
so good at that like nervous best friend.
Mm-hmm.
She's great, and I really, really enjoyed her in this as well.
Yeah, I wanted more screen time of her, and I wanted her to have some jokes.
Yeah.
Because she seemed engaging to me, but she didn't get enough work to do, I think.
I think so. Yeah.
I feel like you could have cut the Steve Zahn character. He didn't bring anything to it. Just have one character.
Yeah, I thought he was weird. I thought there was going to be more going on there, like a secondary love story.
Between Steve Zahn and Miss Rhode Island.
Miss Rhode Island, yeah.
Actually, I'd be into that. It's fine.
But in the Christmas scene with the horns and the clarinets, he's got his arm around some lady.
Another one of my big criticisms of Nora Ephron's work, too many needle drops. Every song is like a big established song.
Yeah.
So we already have built-in emotions attached to it.
Right.
So it's just shorthand of like, feel this way. You know this song. You know that it makes someone feel this way. So now do that. And in this movie, she didn't need it. In Seattle, like maybe you need to manufacture the romance
A little bit more,
because
yeah.
it's actually a stalker story.
Because there's no romance happening until like the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, because the meeting and putting somewhere over the rainbow, I'm not saying it doesn't work, but it's cheap. It cheapened it a little,
cheap.
I thought.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm being a little critical because I think the ending works, but we'll talk about that when we get there.
Sounds good.
I also wrote that I like the business that they do when they're typing. Because there's a lot of this movie that is just them typing on screens.
Yeah.
And that could be very boring. And sometimes it did go a little long. I feel like this is still the time, not as bad as Seattle, but they spend way too much time on the screen because they're like thinking that we don't know how computers work well enough.
Yeah.
That they really have to take their time with it.
I don't know, back then.
But Tom Hanks will like, he kind of like warms up his fingers and he does all this like business around the typing.
Yeah.
I still think you could have had them doing stuff in their day-to-day life and just use the voiceover more.
Yeah.
But
I think so.
the typing they did, they at least gave some.
They're
some
good
stuff.
face actors, these two.
Yeah.
Like they're kind of perfect for this because you do kind of need to have whatever the voiceover is happening while you're typing. You need to like kind of be acting that out with your face, and they do a good job of that. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of straight camera shots on their faces, and you do get the feel of kind of what they're doing and like the anxiety of sending a message like that, or like when they're trying to be funny or when they're laughing at a joke or responding to something. You get that in their faces, and I appreciated that because it was a lot of face work.
And I'm sure they're not used to doing that. This is a whole new thing, right? And I still think Meg Ryan has some of the best upper lip work of anyone. She does good upper lip acting.
Interesting.
That never stands out to you, her upper
No.
lip? Oh, that was like, I think, the defining characteristic of Meg Ryan.
I think it was just face work.
I think Sarah Michelle Gellar, also good upper lip work. Second to Meg Ryan.
Oh.
You should, yeah, watch them.
I'll have to watch a little bit and see.
Nora Ephron also likes to go to the well of there's men's movies and there's women's movies, and men can't watch women's movies and women can't watch men's movies.
In this one, there's a women's book.
Oh, yeah. But we also have, they're talking about The Godfather
Right.
so much.
Yes.
And all the men are like, oh, yeah, I know every line from The Godfather. And women are like, what even is that? While in Seattle, it was an affair to remember.
Yes.
And men never get it, but all women cry about it all day long.
Women be crying.
Men be loving The Godfather.
Yep.
I do kind of hate that The Godfather has gotten this kind of rap. Mm-hmm. There's a bunch of movies like The Godfather, Taxi Driver, American Psycho, where lots of men love them. Mm-hmm. And half of the men are like, yeah, it's about these real cool guys. And half of the men are like, oh, yes, this is a treatise on fragile masculinity and the problems of it.
Yeah.
But we both just go, American Psycho's great. So I love all of those movies, and I haven't done any of them on this podcast because I feel like when I say like, oh, I love American Psycho, it's brilliant, you get lumped in with those guys.
Right.
But I guess that's why we have the podcast, so I can talk about it for an hour and say why it is a satirical criticism, not a celebration.
Yeah.
Then I guess we have the two breakups.
Yeah. These seem too easy again. Like in Sleepless in Seattle, when she is like breaking up with her fiance on Valentine's Day, he's like, yeah, okay, you're right.
So that one, I did feel like that because they were engaged. She never gives him signs. Just one day, she's like, I'm going to go maybe meet someone on that building. I don't know.
Yeah. Bye.
Even though we are on this trip together and presumably all my stuff is still
at your house.
Hotel.
Yeah.
Here, though, Kinnear was about to break up with her, and then she's like, yeah, I don't love you either.
Okay, yeah. I guess it is a little bit less easy and like...
It was easy, but I still believed it.
Yeah, more believable, I guess, is what I mean. Yeah.
And then the one with Parker Posey's character, I kind of liked that. So the elevator scene was, of course, a huge plot contrivance. They all got stuck in an elevator and everyone has these revelations.
Yeah.
And his is that he has to break up. It's very contrived. Also, I was like, yeah, that works. It works for me.
It worked, yeah.
Because they have the other two people having these revelations, and then his revelation is like, oh, she's a dick.
This is terrible.
Huh.
Yeah.
And we don't really see them break up.
No, he just said that he like moved out.
He looks at her after someone else is changing their life and she just doesn't care about it. And he just looks at her and is like, that's enough. We see that he is not that kind of guy. He is not his father. He is not Parker Posey. He has more to him. So that's all I needed.
Yeah.
It was short and quick, but rather than feeling forced, I just felt it was efficient.
It was efficient.
There's another ghost memory in this, just like in Seattle.
Right, where they're dancing around the shop.
Yeah. She loves doing those ghost memories.
She really does. I liked it in this moment just because she was like closing a chapter of her life, and so you would have like a little memory of like your mom and your like beloved times there, whereas in the other one it didn't seem to fit.
In the other one, it seemed like it was an actual ghost.
It did. And it seemed like it was either an actual ghost or he is like actually very mentally ill.
Yeah, right.
And we need to be worrying about Jonah.
Well, we do need to be worrying about Jonah. He went to New York on his own.
It's true. But I mean, like, we need to be worrying about whether or not he is like mentally well enough to be caring for a child. Whereas in You've Got Mail, it's like a little flashback memory of like, we used to dance there and like the bell would ring and like it was like a nice little memory as she's closing that chapter in her life.
Yeah, it worked much better in this. Just the legacy of the mother, that memory kind of haunting the place worked much better here.
Absolutely. And I don't worry about her mental state as much as in Sleepless in Seattle.
Yeah, she should have been committed in that. Or like at least had a restraining order on her.
Yeah. They were both pretty mentally ill in Sleepless in Seattle.
I don't know that Hanks was.
I guess.
Was he?
Well,
he was seeing a ghost.
Seeing the ghost and having like full conversations with her.
He probably is more likely to deal with child protective services because his child is running around the country.
Flying across the country. That's a long haul flight too.
Yeah.
So they finally agree to meet again, and they've been hanging out, or like, I guess they're doing it under the guise of like, oh, we keep meeting up with each other accidentally doing the same things.
But then they do start making plans.
And then they're having lunches and they're like actually hanging out, and you can see them fall in love, and I really appreciate that. Even if they're like, oh no, I'm not in love with her. She's just this woman who I see all the time. And then when they do agree to meet, I really believed that she was excited that it was him and was kind of hoping that it was him, because they had been kind of dropping little like quotes from their emails into each other's like conversation. And I really think that that's like such a cool way to weave in the like to kind of cancel out the weirdness of like meeting a stranger online. So yeah, I thought it was really well done.
I completely agree. Again, this is a huge swing of a plot contrivance, but I liked it. I think it was sold first because of, again, Meg Ryan's face acting. Her reaction to seeing him, because you get this initial pleasant surprise and then confusion, and then she starts dealing with everything, putting the pieces together, and you see her almost start crying, and all of that happens without her saying a word.
Yeah.
That was incredibly well done. And what you were saying, in Sleepless in Seattle, they don't know each other at all, and we're supposed to be rooting for them.
Yeah.
And that happens in a lot of movies. In this one, however, they're actually falling in love in two different ways at the same time.
Yeah.
I love the idea that she has already fallen in love with her pen pal, but now she's also clearly falling in love with Joe Fox.
Yeah.
And then she realizes that they're both the same person. I thought that was fantastic. I don't know. It really worked for me.
It was really well done.
I get that he was being manipulative because he knew ahead of time and wasn't telling her and kind of playing her against herself almost. But that's so much easier to forgive than the crazy stalking of Sleepless in Seattle.
Yeah.
because at the heart of it is they both love each other. So I'm sure that there will be an unpleasant conversation about like, wait, you knew? How long did you know for, you dick? But in the end, she has fallen in love with him in a couple of different ways. And I think that overcomes that kind of deception.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that it might take her a couple of minutes to like move her brain around it. And you kind of see her doing that as she's standing there. But I love I was really hoping it was you.
Yeah.
That was such a sweet way to like end that.
For an ending that ends exactly where you'd expect it to, you just have to make it as fulfilling as possible. And I think they do a good job of that in this one.
I agree. Yeah, I think it's really like assuring that like real love is out there without being really corny, because so many of these movies tend to really like lean on just like corny love.
Sure.
And like, oh, you know, old people are so cute, and like kids being best friends and being opposite genders, so cute, and like that kind of love. And then this is like, it's like, yeah, I can see how they got here. And it was a little predictable, but I really enjoyed getting there.
It does something that sounds so easy, but very few romantic movies take the time to do, in showing them fall in love over time. Sleepless in Seattle, they don't even know each other.
Yeah.
It's weird.
They're not.
In most movies, it's just coincidences or them being thrown into crazy circumstances together. And now you're like, oh yeah, now they're in love.
Yeah.
This one, they've been getting to know each other for months.
Yeah.
Maybe over a year, because we don't know how long the emailing has been going on for.
True. Yeah.
The movie takes place over, I don't know, 7-8 months, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
And they are getting together and being close friends for at least a month. So you have that time plus all of the email time. It makes sense. And you want them to be together. In Sleepless in Seattle, like, I don't know why I want them to be together. He doesn't even know her. Why do I think that's a good fit?
Yeah.
Is he better than the lady that laughs weird? Or is she better than the lady that laughs weird? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, we don't get to know either of them in the way that we get to know these characters.
Here we get to see them in other relationships, and we see why those relationships don't work. Even if Greg Kinnear is not a bad guy, he's a fine guy, he's not the guy for her. We get to see that Tom Hanks could be going the route of being like Parker Posey's character, but he makes a decision like, that's not the life I want to live.
That's not who I am. Yeah.
I want to care about people more. So you want them to get together because you see that they bring out the best in each other. Also the worst at those points, but they take the time to talk through that as well.
And to figure out why. Yeah.
It seems pretty easy to say, but if you're making a romantic movie, the characters should know each other.
Yeah.
And this is one of the few ones that does it, but then still gives you a happy, glossy Hollywood kiss at the end.
Yeah. One thing I appreciated about this was like in romantic comedies, there's a lot of, oh, he was always my best friend and now we're in love. Or like, oh, he's my brother's best friend and he's always been there, but I never thought of him like that. I always thought of him as like a brother. Or like, you know, we grew up together, or like they know each other in some way. Whereas this is like you're meeting a stranger, which is how most people, I assume, fall in love and like have a relationship and stuff. You're not just dating your brother's friends or whatever. And so you actually, like, this is a real thing that happens. Whereas a lot of this other rom-com stuff with the manufactured, like, friend of a friend or, like, we grew up together or that kind of thing.
Because they're not taking the time to develop the relationship.
Yeah.
They're just saying, like, oh, yeah, they know each other. So the relationship has been developed. I'm not going to show it to you on screen. Take my word for it.
This is, like, how you start going on dates with someone and you like talk about things and you text each other and like you don't know each other at the beginning and you get to know each other and that's how you fall in love. And that makes a lot more sense in the real world because that's how it works usually.
Yeah, I like how they take a lot of the elements we see in a standard romantic comedy, getting to know each other, falling in love, having a conflict, then they fight and then they get back together. And they switched it around. They threw the conflict at the beginning and then the getting to know each other like in the last half hour.
Yeah,
It was kind of innovative in that way, and I think it really works.
I think so. I agree.
Well, I think that's it for our talk on You've Got Mail, a movie you wouldn't expect that both of us would have liked this much, but you know what? It's well done.
I agree. And I think this is like a one worth watching.
I'd agree.
Yeah.
Of the 90s romantic comedies, I think this is going to be in those top 5. Right now, off the top of my head, it's got to be in the top 3. Because Pretty Woman was 1990.
Yeah.
Which I think is the best one.
I told you Julia Roberts was originally supposed to be Kathleen.
Oh, interesting. With Tom Hanks?
Yeah. Yeah, but then it was eventually offered to Meg Ryan.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, join us next week when, you know what, we're going to continue. We're going to keep this going. And we're going to go back in time to the movie Joe versus the Volcano, where the whole Meg Ryan, Tom Hanks movie relationship started.
Yes.
So Joe versus the Volcano, we'll be talking all about that next week. No pre-episode, right? We're just going to go right into it?
We're just going right into it.
Let's do it. See you then.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.